Hey guys, welcome back to Cinematic Stories Recapped. Remember those late nights when we all stayed up binge-watching Prison Break? Let's rewind the clock and dive back into this legendary show. The male lead, Michael Scofield, is not only handsome but also a smart engineer. He graduated from the University of Chicago and is a professional structural engineer. He left the bright path and went to rob a bank. He didn't run away after robbing the bank. He deliberately let the police catch him and put him in prison. What's more puzzling is that in court, the judge saw for the first time that the defendant did not defend himself and wanted to go to jail. Veronica was his defense attorney, and she was very uncomprehending. Michael never had a violent tendency, nor did he lack money. Why did he rob a bank? In view of his lack of criminal record and no injury to anyone, the judge was lenient. The judge respected Michael's request. He was locked up in a prison near his home, Fox River State Penitentiary. Michael heard the judge's verdict. He smiled on his face. Michael came to prison. He met Brad Bellick, the fierce captain of the prison guards. He was above everyone else here. Anyone who offended him would be worse than dead. His roommate, Fernando Sucre, had 16 months left before he was released from prison. He carefully introduced Michael to everything in prison. This old man who plays with cats is D.B. Cooper. He is a robber. He robbed $1.5 million 30 years ago. He never admitted this fact. This man was considered a businessman in prison. As long as you have money, he can get anything for you. This is a place where the weak are preyed on by the strong. The prisoners are divided into two gangs, black and white. It's best to stay away from them. Michael was not interested in these things. He only cared about one person, Lincoln Burrows. Sucre advised him not to mess with that person because he killed the vice president's brother. He will be executed in a month. No one here is more dangerous than him, so he was locked up alone. He only came out when he went to the prison factory for labor reform. Sucre was curious. Why was Michael interested in that person?
Because he's my brother.
Michael's answer surprised him. His brother was framed by someone. Michael was brought up by his brother since he was a child. He knew his brother wouldn't lie to him. He had to get his brother out of there. The next day, Michael found John Abruzzi, who was playing cards. He was once the boss of the mafia. After he went to prison, he bribed the prison guards. He enjoyed some privileges here and managed the prison factory. Michael wanted to see his brother, so he asked John to take him to work in the factory. John faced Michael, who had just arrived, and told him to get lost directly. Michael put an origami crane on the table. To keep him from disturbing his card game, John let his men drive Michael away. Back in his cell, Michael chatted with Sucre casually. At this time, a prison guard came over. He said that the warden wanted Michael to go over for a visit. Sucre felt bad. Here, no prisoner has ever attracted the attention of the warden. Sucre warned Michael to be careful. It turned out that the warden had already investigated Michael and knew that he was a high achiever from a prestigious university. The warden questioned Michael. Michael answered perfunctorily. The warden got straight to the point. Next month is his wedding anniversary with his wife. He wanted to give his wife a surprise. He planned to make a model of the Taj Mahal, a symbol of love. Finally, he found out that there was a problem with the structure of the Taj Mahal model. He happened to find out that Michael was a structural engineer. He asked Michael for help. This is something that many prisoners and guards dream of. Michael refused outright. His brother had only 1 month left before he was executed. He didn't have time to do this. On the other side, John's men received a call. They received an anonymous letter. Someone accused their gang of crimes and attached an origami crane. The police had already protected the witness. John thought of Mike's origami crane. He immediately went to find Michael. They fought each other. There is no such thing as self-defense here. As long as you fight, you will be punished. The warden retaliated by locking Michael up for 90 days in solitary confinement. Michael had to agree to fix the Taj Mahal model for the warden. He escaped a disaster.
Scofield.
John agreed to let Michael work in the prison factory. Michael could see his brother and discuss the escape plan with him. Next, Michael had to get close to the female doctor, Sarah Tancredi. Michael had already investigated that she was the daughter of the current governor. Because of family conflicts, she came to prison to do what she loved. Michael used diabetes as an excuse to ask her to inject insulin. He took the opportunity to look out the window and plan the escape route. But there was a problem. He didn't have diabetes. Because he injected insulin, his hands started to shake uncontrollably. Sarah suspected that he might not have diabetes. She suggested that Michael do a test next time. Michael found the big shot in the prison, Benjamin Miles Franklin. He asked him to help find a drug that could resist insulin. Seeing that Michael paid, he agreed. The day of work finally arrived. Michael got his wish and saw his brother Lincoln. He told his brother about the escape plan. His brother advised him not to take risks for himself. Even if they escaped, they would not be able to get anywhere without money. Michael didn't say anything. He turned his head and looked at D.B. Cooper, who was taking off his shoes. His brother said that after going out, even if we have money, we have to hide our names. It's not easy for them to escape from this heavily guarded prison. Coincidentally, this prison was renovated a few years ago. The contractor was Michael's company, so Michael knew the structure of the prison very well. In order not to forget every corner, he engraved the blueprint of the entire prison on his body. Look closely for a few seconds. You will find that his tattoo hides a huge secret. This is the core of Michael's escape. He has mastered the structure of the prison. He next is to get the tools needed for escape. Michael took out a mirror and looked at his arm. He copied the mirrored English letters onto a piece of white paper. During the break, he quietly stole a bolt from the bar chair. It turned out that Michael had checked the information. This type of bolt can be ground into a wrench. Michael took out a coin and started to act. But just then, psycho killer T-Bag came over with his boyfriend. This is T-Bag's territory. He didn't let Michael leave. He looked at Michael with lustful eyes. Michael didn't like this kind of thing. He decisively rejected T-Bag. T-Bag was angry. He drove Michael away. The next day, Michael came here again to take the bolt away. This scene was seen by T-Bag. Michael had no choice but to hand over the bolt to him. When the prison guard came, T-Bag pretended to stretch his waist. He handed the bolt to his men. They escaped the interrogation of the prison guard by a narrow margin. At the same time, a gang war was brewing in the prison. T-Bag, as a member of the White Gang, was actively preparing for war. Michael took the opportunity to sneak into his room. He searched for the bolt taken by T-Bag. Unfortunately, he was bumped into by T-Bag, who came back again. He calmly walked up to T-Bag's face. This scene happened to be seen by Benjamin, the drug god across the street. He mistakenly thought that Michael had joined the White Gang. The next day, Benjamin called Michael to a corner where no one was around. Then several black people came over and surrounded him. No matter how Michael explained, Benjamin would not believe him again. Michael, who was always calm, also lost control of his emotions at this moment. Even if his plan was perfect, there were uncontrollable factors. Back in his cell, Michael was thinking about how to deal with it. The prison guard came over to count the number of people. A white man disobeyed and walked out of the queue, and the war broke out immediately. The prisoners fought with each other. Michael, who was innocent, was also thrown down from the floor. T-Bag's boyfriend rushed towards Michael. He had long disliked Michael's handsome appearance. He was worried that his position in T-Bag's heart would be threatened. He picked up a bolt and stabbed it at Michael's body. The skinny guy was no match for Michael at all. Michael subdued him and snatched away the bolt. T-Bag's boyfriend attacked Michael again. A black man blocked the attack for Michael, and this scene happened to be seen by T-Bag. He mistakenly thought that Michael had killed his boyfriend. Michael didn't have time to explain, and the prison guard threw a smoke bomb. Taking advantage of the chaos, he hurried back to his cell. Although he got the bolt, he also completely offended T-Bag. An origami crane that even a primary school student can fold can become a tool for escape in Michael's hands. He took advantage of Sarah's inattention and put the origami crane into the sewer of the infirmary. The origami crane flowed down with the water and flowed to the sewer of the playground. It turned out that the sewer from the playground to the infirmary was connected. Michael noticed that there was a thick cable outside the window of the infirmary. The cable leads directly outside of the prison. He had to escape from prison, and the infirmary was a must-go place. He had to get along well with Sarah so he could get hold of her key to enter the infirmary. So Michael used diabetes as an excuse to come here for insulin injections. Too much insulin injection caused his hand to shake involuntarily. This also aroused Sarah's suspicion. She suggested that he should do a test next time. Michael had no choice but to find Benjamin, who is known as the drug god in the prison. He asked him to help him get a pill that could resist insulin. Benjamin saw that Michael had a feud with T-Bag. He then gave Michael the pill. Michael also passed Sarah's test in the end. He took his brother and ran away from the playground, which was definitely unrealistic. He had to open up a passage from his cell to the infirmary. When no one was around, he kept grinding the bolt on the ground. The bolt was soon ground into a hex wrench. He aligned the hex bolt with the tattoo on his arm, and the size was basically consistent. Michael inserted the bolt into the socket of the faceplate and twisted it gently. He quickly unscrewed the screw. The plan seemed perfect. He wanted to dig a hole in his cell, which was undoubtedly a huge project. Moreover, he had a roommate, Sucre, under the same roof. Sucre would definitely find out. Michael wanted to pull Sucre into the group. The premise is that he had to verify whether Sucre was trustworthy. During one labor, Michael deliberately hid a cell phone in front of Sucre. He asked his brother to report it. and framed Sucre. The prison guard immediately found Sucre, but this guy was very loyal. He didn't give up Michael. As a reward, Sucre asked Michael to lend him his phone. He wanted to call his girlfriend, but who knew? The phone was just a soap painted with black paint. Sucre felt that he had been played. He angrily questioned Michael what he meant. Michael told him his escape plan and stated that he wanted to pull him together. Sucre heard it and became even more angry. He thought that he would be out of prison soon. Waiting for him were his beloved girlfriend and a bright future. He didn't want to be involved, nor did he want to expose Michael. Therefore, he applied for a change of cell. On the other side, John's accomplice outside came to the prison again. He actually brought his family. He warned John for the last time. If he couldn't find out the whereabouts of the witness, he would kill John's wife and child. The threat of his accomplice made John uneasy. He knew very well that Michael wouldn't eat hard. At the same time, Teabag prepared a sharp serrated knife to avenge his boyfriend. He wanted to kill Michael. John took this opportunity. He tricked Teabag into his room and taught Teabag a lesson in front of Michael's face. From this moment on, John officially joined Michael's escape plan. John thought that he had been blackmailed in prison all the time, so he might as well escape and save his wife and child. With John's protection, Michael was very smooth in prison. Unfortunately, Brad found Michael a psychotic roommate. Because he had nowhere to live, he had to move here. Now there was a big problem. Either pull this psychotic into the team or dig a hole when he was asleep. That night, when everyone was asleep, Michael quietly got up and took advantage of the time to dig a hole. But when he turned back, the psychotic roommate was staring at him with wide eyes. Michael was completely desperate.
What's your problem?
It means I don't sleep. At all.